All right, meeting called to order. Public portion of the meeting begins. New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Business Administrator, Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, communicated to the Hawthorne Press, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Hawthorne. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo. Ms. Goff.
Here.
Mr. Palouse.
Here.
Mr. Reicher.
Here.
Ms. Sanford.
Here.
Mr. Scarra.
Here.
Mr. Taro.
Here.
Mr. Turco. Mr. Doyle.
Here. Everyone please join me for flag salute.
Behind you.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting regulations. During each regular meeting, 2 opportunities are provided for citizens to ask questions and to make comments. During the first opportunity, early on the agenda, the meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing items listed for approval on this agenda only. The second opportunity occurs just prior to adjournment, when citizens may address any subject matter that is pertinent to and/or directly related to the operation of the school district. Persons wishing to speak must, upon being recognized, rise, sign in, state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments and questions shall be addressed to the board president or the presiding officer and shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. The board may or may not respond to issues raised by members of the public at the time they are raised, but will provide a response if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights held by those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments about such individuals and will not be responsible for such comments. Members of the public who choose to speak during this public session should carefully consider their comments, since they could be held personally liable for any statements they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with district policy, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm that the matter has first been brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in an attempt to resolve the issue. All right, that being said, public be heard. Agenda items only. All right, seeing no one. Approval of minutes for March 12, 2019.
Motion.
Second by
Second.
Mr. Palouse. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo. Ms. Goff.
Yes.
Mr. Palouse.
Yes.
Mr. Reicher.
Yes.
Ms. Sanford.
Yes.
Mr. Scarra.
Yes.
Mr. Taro.
Yes.
Mr. Turco. Mr. Doyle.
Yes. We have no correspondence, and our student council representative is absent tonight, so in her place, Mr. Spirito is going to fill us in on some on her topics.
Okay, thank you. So Elizabeth couldn't be here. She's actually on a college visit out in California. So I'll just share her report from the high school for this month. It says, good evening, everyone. Hawthorne High School has had a great start to the spring season. Recently, students in Hawthorne High School Student Council traveled to Jefferson Elementary School to participate in Read Across America, and it was a huge success. The Italian and media arts students are getting ready to leave for Italy next week. Everyone is very excited. Ms. Clifford won the Bear Award at the high school this month. Congratulations to Ms. Clifford. And this year's spring musical is Bye Bye Birdie, and the Hawthorne Theater Department is holding showtimes May 2nd through May 5th. Spring sports season has started. Lacrosse started the year with a win over Pompton Lakes and had a tough loss to Boonton. Baseball and softball both defeated Eastern Christian on opening day. Our golf team defeated Passaic on their opening day, and the girls track team defeated Manchester and Garfield at their opening meet. Boys track suffered a close defeat in their opener. Wednesday, March 20th, the Indoor Color Guard, a new group here at Hawthorne High School, performed their 2019 show, Alleluia, for their Hawthorne family in the gym at Hawthorne High School before their Sunday, March 31st performance in Fair Lawn for their first U.S. Bands National Championship. Saturday, March 23rd, the marching band performed in the Ringwood St. Patrick's Day Parade. The marching band will be hosting their annual Fish and Chips dinner with their Tricky Tray Saturday, April 13th from 5 to 8 p.m. in the main cafeteria at the high school. On to the library. April is National School Library Month and National Poetry Month. The Hawthorne High School Library is celebrating both events with school-wide activities. On April 18th, the library will host the Creative Writing Club's annual Poetry Day by opening the library to these students, who will welcome the entire student body to enjoy poetry with activities such as writing poems on glass, playing Poetry Kahoot, creating poems, and so much more. Throughout the month, the library is challenging students to test their poetry IQ, which enters them into the April raffle for 2 books of poems. In the library makerspace, students upcycled newspapers to make items for Celebration Day, and they made an 8-foot prism tower, tree sculptures, and mixed media paintings. All right, so that's Elizabeth's report. On to my report, just a few items to share. First of all, I want to congratulate the 57 students who were inducted into the National Honor Society last week. I want to thank Mrs. Pasquale and Mr. McMahon, the advisors for that, for the National Honor Society, on a wonderful ceremony. And we look forward to the Gold Tassel Dinner, and board members should have all received their invitation to the Gold Tassel Dinner, which is on Thursday, May 9th. I want to congratulate Mrs. Fadden, Mrs. Tanis, and the students, the geometry students at the high school, on their pasta bridge project. And if you haven't seen it, it will be on our YouTube channel. Basically what they do is they create little bridges out of pasta and glue, Elmer's glue, and the winning bridge this year held 660 pounds. It's amazing. So if you haven't seen it, you can see it on our YouTube channel. It's amazing. Literally, I can't believe that pasta and glue can hold 660 pounds, but incredible. We're also very excited about our 3rd annual Shark Tank event, which is next week, April 16th. That's run by our Media Arts class, Mr. DiLeonardo, and our Media Arts Honor students. We'll also be live streaming, just as we live stream the Pasta Bridge competition, they'll be live streaming the Shark Tank event. And I serve as a judge along with Mrs. Trebona, Mrs. Denise, and Mr. Cunningham, I believe, is the 4th judge. So there are 4 of us. It's a lot of fun. The kids, this year's topic is candy, and the kids have to come up and design a new candy, and they basically sell it to us, and we are the sharks, but it's a lot of fun. So we'll be live streaming that as well. Some other important dates. The annual budget hearing is Monday, April 29th at 7 p.m. We'll be in council chambers. It will be televised, as it is every year. And so if you're interested, you can watch that. Our Board of Ed Youth Night is on May 7th in room 123 at the high school. That's where we have high school students who serve as our counterparts for the evening. It's a great event every year. We also honor our teachers who won our Governor's Educator of the Year. They'll be honored at that meeting on May 7th as well, and that will be in room 123 at the high school. Okay, so that concludes my report. On to the other events that we have for you tonight. We have 2 special events for you tonight, and I want to start, I'm going to ask our Lincoln Middle School students just to hang tight for a moment. I'd like to start with our high school peer leaders. They've created a public service announcement. I guess I'll let them, Mr. Corvo, I assume they'll be explaining the public service announcement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
First of
great.
all, thank you very much for having us. Appreciate it. Thank you for hosting us this evening, as you have for the last couple of years, as we've presented this project to the Board of Ed and the PTO, because the peer leaders are sponsored by the Municipal Alliance. As you know, our main goal is substance abuse awareness, but we also address any other type of unhealthy tendencies or behaviors that could affect the student body. And every year we go to the Teen Summit at Passaic, at William Patterson. All schools that participate in something like a peer leadership program attend, about 22 schools, and we get a competition every year. A couple of years ago was the Photo Voice, of which we won that year. Last year we submitted a great project, but did not come away with the trophy last year, but that's okay. The kids gave it their all. And this year we were tasked with creating a PSA, and we were given wide range as far as what we wanted it to portray. It just had to focus on something in your community, in your school, and a positive way to remedy it. And the rules were it had to be 90 seconds, I believe. So we couldn't get that. You had to do it quick and keep attention. So we tried to choose a couple random scenes. Now the great thing about this project is it adheres to, we have 75 members in our club. It's a big club, and they're the best kids. These kids that you see right here, a lot of them had a morning session. They had a whole day of school. They had golf practice or something like that, or work. They chose to come here to support this club that they're very active in, and then most of them are going to play or a night session till 10 o'clock. So they're pulling overtime, just like a lot of us, so they deserve a ton of credit. We thank them for their participation. So what you're about to see are some choice, again, some scenes where there's unhealthy behavior depicted and then remedied. For example, Vanessa Tusignan plays the role of a stressed student. Vanessa, why do we choose stress as one of our things we wanted to address?
Yeah, so specifically, well, especially in high school, a lot of people are incredibly stressed, and I just felt like it was important to depict, just because so many people are stressed and there's so many ways that you can actually help with it, and helping out a friend who is stressed is very important. It's something that's easy to do, which we did.
Absolutely, and we also chose to demonstrate some social media bullying with a performance by Miss Ava Tower, who's the bullied person. Ava, why do we choose to do that?
Cyberbullying is a very common problem. We see it every day, and I feel like by displaying this message we can really help solve this easy problem. And even though it may not be as dramatic as it's portrayed, it's still a big problem. We should stop it.
We also addressed vaping, which you'll see in a pretty interesting way. We also wanted to address phone unhealthy relationship, I guess, or I guess we could just call it addiction to your phone. We chose Tom to be the person who's a little isolated there. Tom, why is that? Why do we want to focus on that type of unhealthy behavior?
I think it's a really important thing to focus on, because obviously there's a lot of good things that come with cell phone usage these days, but anything in excess is bad. So I think it's just important to remember how much there is going on at the high school and to be involved and stuff like that.
Well said. So thank you very much. We hope you enjoy the short video. If, I'm not sure.
Yeah, just give us play.
Okay.
Just
We
hit play.
hit the lights.
Yeah.
Mark's name.
It's all set up, we just have to click on it.
Pardon me, no.
Feeling stressed? You're not alone. A 2013 survey by the American Psychological Association found that stress is extremely common among teenagers. Teenagers who responded to the...
I have a flash drive. What do you think? Try it again?
Before you guys got it.
I'm not sure. I don't want to mess with your setup.
No, let me...
Yeah, here, let me try. Yeah, it's through my phone.
Just refresh it.
Okay, hit back. There you go. You download it, is that better?
Feeling stressed? You're not alone. A 2013 survey by the American Psychological Association found that stress is extremely common among teenagers. Teenagers who responded to the survey report that they're experiencing what they think are unhealthy levels of stress, especially during the school year. Be a bear and help a friend in need. According to the Juul product website, one Juul pod contains 20 cigarettes worth of nicotine. Be a bear and be drug-free. As smartphone access has become more prevalent, a growing share of teens now report using the internet on a near constant basis. According to a survey done by Pew Research Center, some 45% of teens say that they use the internet almost constantly. Be a bear and be an active member of your community.
This has been a friendly reminder from your Hawthorne peer leaders to get out there and be a bear.
They deserve all the applause. Again, it was all them, from the idea to the storyboarding to Dan Sweetman did the filming, and he and Padiola and Mike Rika did the editing. And I know you wonder, where's Ava Tower's scene? I built that up, right? Unfortunately, it was so emotional that we were afraid to, because we had the limit of 90 seconds, we unfortunately had to cut one of the scenes there. But I'm going to send Mr. Sprito the unedited version. If you'd like to see Meryl Streep's performance, tune in. But again, thank you very much for hosting us, and we're going to get community points for coming. We're at the PTO tomorrow night, and we're playing all the greatest hits, so come on out if you want to see it again. So thank you very much.
Okay. I know, Mr. Corvo, I know that some of those students have to run, so if you guys need to move on to other things, I understand if you have to get to play practice or something else. So
Very good.
thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Ms. Dever, it is all yours.
All right, can all my respect speakers come up? We're gonna get in line, get ready. We'll do one starting over there and 14 over there.
14 at the end.
Number 5, perfect. It's also a math project. So thank you all for coming here tonight. We're here to talk about 2 of our topics, one being our Respect program that we implemented this year at Lincoln Middle School. We have 14 students here tonight to talk to you a little bit about it, and then we also have a video to show you really what goes on behind the scenes. But the reason this project got started was because we surveyed our staff last year, and one of the things that they felt as a whole was respect in general was lacking between student to student, student to teacher, teacher to student. So we felt that this was a project that we could implement and hopefully develop a better culture and climate at Lincoln Middle School. And Mr. Bertolini was so lucky to have done this in his previous district that he has been the Respect Program guru, so you'll see him in the video a lot.
A lot of corny jokes.
But it has been, from my perspective, a great way to really just build a kinder community here at Lincoln Middle School. So we'll start down there. If you guys can just introduce yourselves and say what grade you're in, and then speak a little bit about the program.
Hello, my name is Natalie Ariaza and I'm in the 6th grade. In LMS, we have something called the Respect Program. This program encourages many of us to be very respectful to others. This program works by if a teacher sees you doing something kind to another person, they will give you something called a team ticket. You then write your name on it and enter it in the raffle. At the end of the week, a teacher pulls out a team ticket with the person's name on it from all grades. At the end of the day, you get a reward from something called the prize cabinet, which is located right outside the room. This can help many kids be nice, kind, and respectful to each other. Then they get a reward for doing something really nice.
Hi, my name is Ariana Perez, and I'm in the 6th grade. In the school of LMS, we have the Respect Program. The Respect Program is very important in the school. It works by you doing something kind, generous, and most importantly, respectful. Once you do one of those things, your teacher would give you a team ticket, which represents something that you could reach an award from the prize box. Every Friday, we have a team ticket drawing, and that's when you find out who wins a prize. Every grade has a team ticket drawing. I'm very glad to be one of the winners of the Respect Program.
I'm Xavier. The Respect Program, they created an initiative for students and just everyone in general to be more respectful with each other. which is just a good overall thing to have.
Hi, my name is Ashley Smith, and I feel that a respect program, which is new and that was introduced in LMS, has made LMS a better school because it pushes and drives more people to do good. This program helps both students and teachers. Students get a chance to win a prize for being good, and in return, the teachers get well-behaved, kind, and helpful students. Many people in my grades and the other grades have enjoyed this new program. I hope you will too.
Hi, my name is Sean Batej, and I'm in 8th grade. The thing I enjoyed most about the Respect program is that it will help everyone.
I'm Adam Lauer, and I'm in the 8th grade. The Respect program has made me a better person because we're now being we're rewarded for being respectful.
I'm Olivia Jagon. I'm in 7th grade. The Respect program has made a difference at LMS because people now want to help others and be a better person even without the teachers watching.
Hi, I'm Paul Dewar, and the Respect program is this program by which you earn blue team tickets, which are a fantastic incentive to do something kind.
Hi, I'm Sarah Meck, and I'm in 8th grade, and I feel that the LMS Respect program has made LMS a better place for both teachers and students because it helps persuade students to be more respectful, and it shows the importance of kindness towards your peers.
Hello, I'm Ashley Castillo from the 7th grade, and I feel that LMS Respect program has made LMS a better place because people are becoming better people to put tickets in to win and get something from the prize cabinet. Also, it encourages people to be thoughtful and nice and kind.
Hi, my name is Ella Tower, and I'm from the 7th grade, and I enjoy participating in the LMS Respect program because it encourages people to be kind to others. In the end, students could have a chance to win a prize from the prize cabinet.
Hello, I'm Logan Briggs. I'm in the 7th grade. So what the Respect program is basically is, let me change that. So what it's about is you want to be nice and kind to everyone, and maybe simply just picking up papers from someone who fell or something. So before, we used to maybe drop a bunch of books and we just walk by them, not even helping them. But now for everyone who does help them, would then get a team ticket, who would then enter the raffle and maybe win a prize.
Hi, my name is Lily Kingslow, and I'm from the 6th grade. The Respect program has made a difference at LMS because it encourages people to respect others and do kind actions in the school. It encourages people to do so because you will get a reward if you do it. Oh my god. Also, the more kind actions you do, the more tickets you will get. If you receive more tickets, you will have a better chance at winning. This is why the Respect program makes a difference at LMS.
Hi, my name is Derek Aguero, and overall the Respect program has made the school a better place. It encourages people to be kind. I've been at this middle school for about 3 years, and I've seen the huge difference that there are less insults, less bullying, and more kindness. Anyone can be kind, even if they just try it.
Mr. Bertolini, do you want to explain how this part of the process works?
So the team tickets, they're called team tickets. Team stands for thoughtful, encouraging, amazing, and mannerly. So you do any of those things or respectful, they get a team ticket. The blue ones go to students. The green ones go to the teachers, from Mrs. Dever and myself. So if we see teachers doing good things, they can get a ticket also. And they have their own raffle at faculty where they win gift cards. The students in the cafeteria on Fridays, it's a party down there. It's a good time. Last music perform, kids are dancing. They start banging the table, excited to win a prize. And a teacher or a staff member comes down and they pick out winners, 2 winners per grade. We announce it, we all get excited for, we clap them up, and then at the end of the day, on every Friday, we call the winners down to the prize cabinet in front of the school where they can pick their own prize from there. Five Below is an amazing store I found out, great for the prize cabinet. Never been until we did this program. And then the incentive for the teachers to give out tickets, if we pick a ticket and the teacher get a ticket out, with their name's on it too, they get a candy bar in their mailbox. So candy on a Friday, always good. So kids are excited for it, we're excited for it. They do a great job with it. It has improved everything in the school. So we're happy about that. So, and now we have a little video to show you about it, and hopefully,
Is that 1 week's worth of tickets for
No. Great question. I should have mentioned. So what we do is we have a smaller container per week.
Okay.
At the end of the month, we empty it into the big container.
That's still amazing.
In the middle of the year, this is like a half a year right here. In the middle of the year, we pick out the big prize. So they win a $50 gift card with parental consent if they're what they choose, where you see in the video. And at the end of the year, we put all the tickets in. This is for one grade, right? This is only 7th grade. We put all the tickets in here, and they win a $100 gift card with parental consent, of course. So,
You'll see that in the
you'll see that. Yeah.
parental consent. All right, so hold on, we have our video.
On the microphone, I kind of ham it up a little bit for the students, so I do apologize for that.
You would have never expected that, right?
You're right. Yeah.
I got a team ticket in Mr. Ferraro's class for answering a question.
A teacher gave me a team ticket on my birthday. Hi guys, I'm Mr. Tenkate, and I got a teacher team ticket for attending the girls' basketball game.
I got a team ticket for lending my pencil to a friend.
I got a team ticket for being kind and respectful.
I got a team ticket because I attended the school improvement meeting.
I got a team ticket.
For what?
Oh, good listener.
Being a good listener. Awesome, nice job.
Thank you. Alright, Moby. I got a team ticket for finding someone lost money.
I was given a team ticket because I work well with others.
I got a teacher team ticket for responding to an INRS email.
Can be any one of you, 7th grade. It's a boy or
happening. Coming up for your prize. Thank you, Ms. Napolitano, for giving us a stick out. Come on up here. Peyton Patrick! Today, you can't win twice today, right? Today, this person won this time, this person can't win again today. Pick another way, pick it again. Also, just remember, tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow for the weekly report. This is a video for us. Okay. Now, this person here, when we call your name, because we are respectful people, what do we do for people when we call their names? Okay, this person, come on up for your prize. This person is a boy or a girl. It could be anyone. This person is a sixth grader. It could be anyone. Come on up for your certificate for a $50 gift card of your choice with parental consent. Thank you to Ms. Thomas again, as always, Ms. Thomas. Come on up here. Get nice and loud for her. Ava Parisi!
I won for the respect raffle and I got in the McDonald's lunch.
I am Bobby King, and I've won the Respect program twice, and I have won in basketball and in football.
Hi, my name is Joseph Sussman. I won the Respect program 3 times. I won FLARP, lip gloss, and the earphones. Hi, I'm Ava Parisi, and I'm in 6th grade, and I won the mid-year $50 gift card, and I picked the Visa gift card.
So that's our Respect program. Real quickly is not only are we trying to build a positive culture and climate for rewarding kids for picking up pencils and books and helping a friend, but also coming to school. So that's why you heard a student, anyone that had perfect attendance per each marking period was given 5 team tickets. So and Mr. Bertolini and I are always giving out tickets to students too. So, but I think it's really helped our school, and we're happy we were able to share our program with you tonight. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So next, we're also going to share. We had so much to share, we couldn't pick. This year, we also implemented a full STEAM course for our 8th graders. Last year we had STEM for our 7th graders, which was just a half marking period course, but we were able to make a 7th grade course a full marking period course, and then also offer that experience to our 8th grade class, which obviously brought on a lot more projects and a lot more innovation. And Ms. Napolitano is our STEM and STEAM teacher, and she has been working extremely hard this year to really get the program up and running. And also, we were blessed to get a new STEM lab, which we thank the Board of Education for, because it has made a world of a difference doing STEM in a STEM lab versus a an old culinary room. So we really thank them, and we're excited for our 8th graders to share some of the amazing projects that they have been working on throughout the marking periods.
Thank you. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Thank you again for having us. I'm Mrs. Napolitano. Mrs. Sever had said I'm the 7th grade STEM, 8th grade STEAM teacher, and we truly are enjoying the STEM lab. So thank you again for everything, all your support, and everything, the materials, the budget, the funds, the machines. It's been fabulous. So thank you very much. And thank you to our 8th grade students who volunteered their time tonight to help us with respect, and also showcase all of our 8th grade projects that we've done in STEAM. So we're going to start off with Joe and Paul.
Hello again. What we have here is a STEAM mascot handcrafted from recycled materials. It is a compilation of the 12-time WWE World Champion Hulk Hogan, a piece of toast, and hippie sunglasses. I will allow Joe to take it from here.
So for the reason for the mascot is that it was just an icebreaker for the kids to get accustomed to the beginning of STEM. They're going to be learning like, hey, this is what the kind of thing we're going to be doing. So as you can see, it's provided by just recyclable material, no other than that. And each team had their own different mascot. Like me, Paul, and my friend Ronan, we made this, and other people made more stuff, like they made a flower and Buster.
They had to be student-oriented, so everybody had to come up with a name and a purpose for their mascot, his or her. It could have been a superhero, an animal, transportation, anything they wanted, and they all had to present it at the end, and then we had to take a vote to see who the winner is. Like they said, it's just an icebreaker, just something fun to start off the STEAM program. Thank you. Great.
Okay, so these are the bot buddies. This one's a brush bot, this one's a scribble bot, and these two are junk bots. And the junk bots are made of everything recycled, like the STEAM mascots. And these two, we put the circuits together we use components to make a circuit so it can move around and like race and also like move. Try to follow. For the scribble bot, we tried to follow where the markers went, and for the junk bots, we just. They battle against each other because they had a circuit inside it also to like move and battle. And then this one it vibrates and it just moves with this.
And we would race them down a track against another team behind them.
And this one would just keep moving. It would just move with this propel
right.
Yeah, and it would just move.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey again, I'm back. So these are the Evo bots. They are miniature programmable robots that they follow a line. And as you can see here, they follow the black line. And there are different colors that you could use with special markers. There are the red, blue, and green markers. Now, depending on what pattern the colors are in, it could either go turbo speed, it could do like a 360 spin, it could flash many different colors. What the STEAM kids were supposed to do is that we were supposed to make our own different type of map, and we used the Chromebooks to program our Evo bots.
We used Ozo Blockway on the Chromebooks for a second day, experiencing with the Ozo bots. And then the third day they had driving courses they had to pass. A straight edge driving course and then a wavy driving course. And that was their third day to pass that program.
Alright, so these roller coasters. We need, sometimes, they assign us certain partners, chosen partners, and we have to build this roller coaster. And, it's kind of like Legos. You have to follow a booklet and you have to follow exactly what it says. And once you complete it, you have to add certain weights to it, and then you have to kind of improve or change certain parts of it to make it so, you have to change certain parts of it to make it so it goes all throughout the course by when you add weight. For the early finishers, you could also make a half pipe for some extra credit, and you also had to collect data on this, on how many paper clips would it take for you to, for it to completely stop, or, yeah. You also had to submit the lab for a grade, and then.
You're also to turn it on if you want. So try to turn it on, anytime. It took about a week for students to follow the colored booklet. And if the car doesn't go all the way around, they know that they have to tweak it and use extra pieces to make it go successfully around the loop, whether weights were added or not. The weights we used were paper clips. They were nice and light. We used Scotch tape. And then they had to figure out, like Derek had said, however many weights were added, they had to measure which height would work the best for it to go around the loop. Thank you. All right,
So for the vinyl designs, you made 3 different designs using Google Draw. And then you shared your favorite design that you made with Miss N. And then she would then import the image onto Roland Cut Studio software on her desktop computer. And then she sized the image to fit the measurements. And then you would choose what color vinyl sticker you would want your sticker to be. And then she would put that into the sticker printer. And then she would print it for you, and then you could put it on whatever you want. And these are some examples, different stickers that kids made.
And they're able with that on the topping, it's called transfer tape, and they're able to, I would hand it to them like that, and then once they're ready to apply it wherever they'd like, computer, inside the locker, or even the water bottles, anywhere that they'd like, they don't damage anything, easy to peel, throw away. The transfer tape just holds it in place for them until they're ready to apply it. And then they peel it away, almost like a Band-Aid or like tattoos when we were little, like explains them. Take off the back, take off the front, throw it away, and you're left with your sticker.
So hi guys, I'm Xavier. For this project right here, we did the straw rockets, and we used straws, index cards, clay, and tape. We did 2 different types of rockets. One was a 4-fin and another one was a 5-fin. What really made these rockets, how far they went, were the fins themselves, how you design them. Then after you had your design, you would put it on the launcher, and you would see how far it would go, and you would record that data and make it into a graph, and then hand that in.
Hi. So this is called a 3D pen, and basically using a 3D pen, you can either free draw or use like a printed template to make like a 3D design, and it basically has like a colored plastic filament that gets, once it heats up to 446 degrees, it loads through the filament, it loads through the hole, and then it melts. And these are a few examples. We have somebody made an Eiffel Tower, like this. There's a butterfly. This is a cupcake. And then this is something that says like mom, like a desk or something. And then this is a turtle. And then we just have a few other designs, like something like this panda. And so the cool thing about this is you can really just use your imagination to build something that you can like physically hold or put somewhere.
So, we first introduced. Okay, I guess first. So me and Paul and myself made some cereal boxes based on the TV shows Parks and Rec and The Office. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're not really that popular. But so mine is Scott's Tots featuring his Ron Swanson Bacon and Eggs. And so mine includes Shroop Bucks and Ron Swanson Pyramid of Greatness.
Hi. My cereal box, as a part of marketing and advertising campaign, is entitled Bacon and Eggs. There is one free Park Ranger handbook included. It costs 130 euros, and it featuring a Swanson Pyramid of Greatness.
Oh.
So with the project I'm talking about was a serial design task, and it's with a new program called Defined STEM that the district had purchased last year. It's for any grade, any level, any subject, and for 8th graders I chose the serial design task where they were partnered up with another student or two, and they had to come up with, they each had to do sketches, come up with a brand new cereal focused for kids between the ages of 5 and 10. They got more credit for creating a brand new cereal versus just doing a redesign of something already out there. Then once they agreed on a front and back, they both liked, they sketched it, they wrapped the cereal box with white paper, sketched it, colored it neatly. They had to calculate the surface area, hand that in. They had to create an advertisement, and then they had to present to us, the classmates. We were the focus groups.
And if you're wondering, mine is smaller because it has a built-in bowl, so you can just eat it like on the go.
Great for the car.
Exactly.
You won't spill anything at all.
Yeah, you won't. Okay. Hello again. So these are the Discovery robots and physics sets. These were given to us by HEF, and we're very thankful for those because these have been a really fun part of our STEM experience. And so you have all these small pieces, and you can make these like physics pieces. Like this is
Air pressure.
the air pressure thing, and it's a thumb war. So you have to see who can win in the thumb war. And there's also this this vice machine where you can make it so that it like holds in like a piece of paper or like a piece of wood or something. And yeah.
And they have the lab cards that come along with this kit. The students I placed, and they have 5 kits. So again, thank you to the HEF. They purchased these kits for us. We have 5 kits. Students would be partnered, in groups, small groups, and there are color-coded lab cards, and they would get so many points for each color card that they would complete, and it, just focuses on all different types of science topics. So we do that maybe for 2 or 3 days, just enough to get a little taste of it. So that's something different for us. And then I have 2 more things to wrap up. One is this current marking period will be able to enjoy this. We have an X-Carve, a large wood carver, in our classroom. And basically the students with me, right there, they make their design on the computer, on easel, it's invincibles.com, and then they get to make their design. The X-Carve carves out their design. These are just 2 samples we have so far. But this marking period will really get to enjoy that and benefit from it.
And for our last one, over here we have the Lego Mindstorms. So pretty much there's several ones that you can do, but here was the color sorter. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, it's not working today. But we would have to design this. It would come in the Lego pieces, and then we would have to assemble it together with a partner. And then there's this programming feature in the back here, which you would plug in the program to help sort out for this specific one, the color sorter, and it would put them in their own specific spots. And yeah.
That's good. So with these kits that Xavier was explaining, my 7th graders use these Lego Mindstorm kits, my 7th graders, and then using the same kits for the 8th graders. Instead of following the 80-page booklet the kit comes with, they log into the Lego Mindstorms app, and they have 4 choices using that same core set kit. Then they can either make a Gyro Boy, a puppy, color sorter, or a claw that lifts items and moves it around. And then their lab would be basically to run the program according to their robot and then run it for their final grade. So unfortunately, this was working on Friday, I apologize. But it was sorting the colors which are in the cups. You scan it and then it would sort it. But these are our 8th grade projects. This is a little taste of what they've been doing, very busy, and I appreciate your time tonight.
So just a special thanks to parents that allowed us to borrow their children for the night. We greatly appreciate it and coming here. It's a packed house. I'm really excited. And thank you to, of course, our students for speaking on our behalf and highlighting what we have to offer at Lincoln Middle School. So thank you. Turn it back over to Mr. Spirito.
I appreciate everyone being here, our students and parents. Thanks for coming out. And I think
so congratulations, great program. Thank you to all our presenters, our teachers, administrators, staff. Thank you so much. We're going to take about a 10-15 minute break. We got some refreshments behind here, so everybody take a walk around, check everything out, and have some refreshments.
Scary.
This is a better turnout than usual. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. You're finished with all your reports?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to move on to curriculum and instruction. Abby, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Committee on Curriculum and Instruction recommends the following resolutions. CI1 on page 3, continued on to page 4, CI2 through CI6 on page 4, and CI33 on the addendum. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a
Yes.
question. Just for CI1, the last thing on there, the trip to Spain.
Yes, that's next spring.
Oh, I was like,
Next year.
I didn't see the 2020. I was like, how did they not know the dates if it already happened?
No,
Okay,
it's
never
next-
mind.
it's a
Funny you
year-
mention it. Me and my daughter got into it. She goes, "It's next year." I go,
Okay,
"It's
yeah.
on the agenda."
It's
I look at
next.
it. It's
It's
next
next.
year.
Is that the spring break or they're going outside of
Yes.
spring break? Okay.
Yes.
That's funny.
Anything else?
I just wanted to
Yes.
comment on CI6, that I'm very excited that we're doing this, to have a supervisor of STEM in all of the schools, to see it really grow K through 12. Tonight we saw a glimpse of it, and I was even commenting to the teacher. The kids that presented tonight, as compared to the kids that presented 3 years ago when we were here, they were so much more comfortable, even talking about it.
Yeah.
3 years ago, she had to prompt them, "What'd you create? Can you tell me about it? Can you?" So it's come such a long way in a short period of time, and I think this is gonna, put us over the top to speak that somebody will be in charge of all of the schools K through 12 and actually overseeing it, and keeping it growing. So I'm so glad that we're gonna have a supervisor of STEM for the whole district.
Definitely good stuff. I concur. Anyone else? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Scarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tataro?
Yes.
Mr. Turco? Mr. Clavijo? Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Abby, right back to you for personnel, please.
The following resolutions are pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. P7 on page 4, P8 through P19 on page 5, and P20 through P24 on page 6. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
I just want to clarify, that's actually action items, right? We had no personnel, we had action items, right?
No, that's personal.
Oh, okay. Any discussion? Nothing? Roll call, please.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Scarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tataro?
Yes.
Mr. Turco? Mr. Clavijo? Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, moving on to finance and administration. Tanya, please.
Acceptance of donations. We are accepting 2 donations, $12,000 from Atlantic Stewardship Bank for the purchase of security strobe lights and $2,800 from Robert Pasquale for the Hawthorne High School Math Club for the roller coaster projects. These funds were processed through the Hawthorne High School Student Activities Account, so we'd like to thank them publicly for their donations. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Finance and Administration recommends the following resolutions. F25 through F30 on page 7. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have just one comment. Obviously, we want to thank Atlantic Stewardship and Mr. Pasquale for the donations. I want to let you know that the strobe lights are being installed over April break, so we're moving along with that. I apologize, sorry.
Anything else you want to take from me?
Sorry. I retract my comment. I'm sorry.
That's it, we're good? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Scarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tataro?
Yes.
Mr. Turco? Mr. Clavijo? Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, Mike, claims, please.
In accordance with the NJAC 6A:23-2:11B, C3, and C4, I have reviewed the bills and found everything in order and make a motion for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco? Mr. Clavijo? Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Palooz?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Buildings and grounds, back to you, Mike.
Okay. Pursuant to the recommendation of superintendents of schools, the Committee on Building and Grounds recommends the following resolution. On page 8, BG 32, and on the addendum, the goldenrod addendum, page 11, BG 34 and 35. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco? Mr. Clavijo? Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Palooz?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, moving on to committee and liaison reports. We're going to go right to you, Abby, for curriculum and instruction, please.
Okay, the C&I committee met on April 2nd at 5:30 in the evening. The first thing we discussed were the presentations this evening. Ms. Dever wanted to share the STEM and Team Ticket Respect program with us. Things that were highlighted here were STEAM mascots, Evo Bots, cereal box design, Bot Buddies, Connects roller coasters, straw rockets, vinyl designs, 3D pens, and physics and robotics kits, as well as the Respect program and Team Tickets. We then discussed the peer leadership presentation. As you saw, peer leaders, as a part of their Passaic County Teen Summit program, presented their project this evening, for which they get extra credit toward their goal of competing against other teams. It was a 90-second public service announcement. The third thing we discussed were Diables assessments. Mrs. Tribona shared that K through 2 reading benchmark assessments were shared with the teachers. Each cohort of data was reviewed. They started making plans for those students where there was a gap. Roosevelt and Washington will have an increase, as you saw tonight on the agenda, in their basic skills instructors, which will help to bolster BSI, and they can now do smaller targeted groups, and they're working with the teachers to support them as well. We also discussed the new STEM course at the high school. They created short and long-term plans for the new course. They are putting in orders for that course. It's coding and design processes, environmental green unit, community-based culmination, getting quotes for the tech, PD, equipment, and textbooks. The architect is also going to set up to get specs for furniture. We're holding off on any room renovations to see how the referendum ends up. Also discussed the STEM supervisor job description. The job was posted. There were 4 applicants, and we are hoping for approval at the May 7th Board event meeting. We then discussed the NJSLA graduation requirements, which is the new park. As of March 15th, it was announced that the 11th graders do not have to test. They literally just recanted what they had said like 4 minutes before that. Those who have not met the requirements, which there are 68 students, are going to test, even though they don't have to, but it seems to be the best option at this point. And we're possibly providing another ASVAB date. So that's an alternate assessment route. We discussed RTI training, response to intervention training for the administrative team on April 8th. We're moving toward a typical RTI model, including 4 tiers. Mr. Brislin and Ms. Tribona found someone to come in for PD. They will come in and train the administrative team. We will be transitioning from INRS to RTI. Real-time, our data management system has a built-in RTI module, which will be very helpful. Also, talked about investigating new Bear Cave locations because of an increase in students. Mr. Sprito went to a number of venues, and Ms. Forche and he agreed that the space that they have will be able to accommodate the increased numbers, so they're going to stay in their current location for now. There could be as many as 10 students in that program. We'll reevaluate next year if we have to. We may even have a possible tuition-paying student this coming year from another town. Also, we talked about the revised calendar for May and June. We have 2 unused snow days. We will have the Tuesday following Memorial Day off, which is May 8th, and the Tuesday that is the primary election off, which is June 4th. We also have 2 high school teams going into the STEM Challenge, which is known as STEM Tank. And Mr. Sprito is continuing to look for other banks in the region to possibly make more donations. and he would specifically be looking for donations for STEM. I pitched it to the camera, so maybe they're watching. That is all.
Anything policy related?
No, no policy.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to HEF, CPAC, and PTOs. Anthony,
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll start with CPAC. I know I've been talking about it for a long time, but we're kind of down to, this is the last meeting before the event. So, May 5th, the 4th annual color run. If you haven't already signed up, please go to the website, go to the Facebook page. I think it's Hawthorne MJ CPAC, and look for information there. It's a great event, usually one of their biggest fundraisers, and it's always a good time to get involved and have some fun for the day. Also on CPAC, they're still doing the Ronald McDonald pull tabs, so if you could make your collection and drop them off at one of the schools or the Hawthorne Library, that would be great. And I just checked on their Facebook page. There's an event, I think it's tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's a free webinar for any siblings of children with disabilities. It helps you cope. Again, I don't know exactly what it is, but typically when it has inclusion for siblings, it's about coping and dealing with having a family member with a disability. So again, that's go to the Facebook page and you can see that, but I believe it's tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. It's a free webinar. Moving on to, I apologize, I have to get my phone out here. Moving on to HEF. A lot of good things happening here. Again, that's also in May 19th. I'll be able to report one more time at our May meeting. But on May 19th is going to be the Food Truck Festival. And so far lined up, I believe, is the Esplanada Lady, Cheesin', Johnny Zeppeli, Cold Stone Creamery, Mozzarella God. No, is that Mozzarella God? That's how you say it. Surf and Turf, Donut Carousel, Jersey Johnny, to name a few. It's $5 to purchase wristbands for the entire entry. There'll be face painting, tattoos, inflatables, and a few other things. I think it's important to know that if you can help out and volunteer, they are looking for some volunteers. It's tough for just a few people to run. It's a great event. It's a great moneymaker for the community. They give back. As you can see tonight, they did donate some money towards the, was it robotic kits? 5 robotic kits. So the money goes back to the community. It goes back to education. So if you can either get involved or at least go down and spend some money and help us raise some money, that would be awesome. So again, that one's May 19th. And that's for the Education Foundation. And then I'll move on just really quick. I'll mention that I just want to thank Christine Wager for the job she did again for, Rick, was this the second college fair?
Yes.
College fair, over 60 universities, military were there. It was a really good event.
Great event.
So again, I just want to thank her for all her hard work. And I believe that concludes my report. Thank you.
anything on the family engagement front?
No, just the college fair I kind of lumped into that family engagement.
Great.
But we will have another meeting soon and continue to promote. One of the things that I mentioned tonight with a few of the teachers that were involved is there's so many positive things that are going on. And you might have looked at what was going on tonight, and if you don't have an understanding of really the background, the critical thinking, the programming, and everything that's involved with what these projects really entail, there's a lot going on in the community, a lot going on in education. So hopefully we continue to grow and expand on where we are. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. President. Building and Grounds Committee met on May 2nd. Topics on our agenda is the Board of Ed office. The carpet is from the original, from 1981, and we are looking at getting it replaced and also getting some quotes on some paint to be done there. And if you've been up there lately, and we all have, we know it's been pretty bad. Some Bear Cave update, as it was reported from the CNI. The administration has looked at a potential if we have an increase in student population upwards towards 10. So they consider looking at other options. After evaluating it and looking at other places, they feel that initial read that we had that we can actually field up to 16. Not that we would do that, but we have the ability to do that if we could. That at 10, we're comfortable enough in the environment, but we will also continue keeping an eye look on it, knowing that the enrollment could fluctuate year to year. So right now, we're good, we're gonna stay, we decided to stay where we are, but we're gonna keep that option open as we proceed, okay? We also talked about the new bus purchase. As you know, that it is a state law that requires that the school districts retire the buses after 15 years of service. No matter how great of condition they are, they have to say bye-bye, and that's what we do. And so we are in the midst of replacing a 54-passenger bus, which I'm sure maybe finance will be commenting on the funds and the cost of that. Also, additional painting at Lincoln Middle School, at the basement locker rooms. The stairwells by the gym are scheduled to be painted. We'll be starting this work soon, and it will be done during off-school hours. So it's nice to be done. It's going to be done quickly, and it's not going to be done during when the students are in session. Strobe lights, as Mrs. Sprito was nice enough to steal my thunder. Thank you, Mrs. Sprito. The strobe lights that Atlantic Stewart Bank made a major donation towards will be installed during the April break. So we're pretty excited. Another security measure that was required, and we were able to step up and do it, and we feel nice to be on the cutting edge of that. Also on the track, there was some issues with a correction needed to be done during the pole vault landing area. The company will be coming back at the track season to finish it up and seal the edges, and it should be just no wise for the worse. No one's going to be hurt. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Anything on NJSBA?
No, we have nothing. Thanks.
Very good. Tanya, please take us through finance, administration, and legislative.
Okay. Well, I think we've pretty much been through finance and administration because everything almost was mentioned on my list. So I'll just reiterate real quickly. The 2019-2020 budget has been approved by the county. So that was our #1 item to discuss. And the presentation, as Mr. Sprito mentioned earlier, will be April 29th. It will be televised at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. We did discuss the new bus. We are currently getting quotes. We have no numbers yet on that, so that is in progress. We also did discuss the new carpeting and flooring in the Board of Ed office. We talked about potentially converting the chambers into a conference/multi-purpose room so we can get more use out of it. So instead of those long queues, having actual conference tables and chairs, which we could use for our meetings and for other events. We did discuss the calendar. As Abby mentioned, we will be closed. We have 2 extra snow days. We will be closed on the Tuesday after Memorial Day and the primary day in June. We had an inquiry as to student accident insurance. As you know, we haven't had that available for many years now, but that was just reiterated that it is not available through the school. And the one thing that I think nobody mentioned, so I'm happy to say, we have gotten a quote for replacing doors at the cafeteria at the high school, the weight room, the exit door, at the football den, the men and women's bathroom, and at LMS, the handicap entrance. So we'll be replacing all of those this summer, and the quote came in just under budget, so we're happy to say that that's a go. And I think we did discuss the transition house, but again, Mike and Abby both brought it up that we will be staying in the same location. We will have about 10 kids next year, and one of them is a potential out-of-district student coming in to pay. So that's all I have. I have nothing for legislative.
Okay. Marco, anything on council?
Yes, 2 small items from the March 20th council meeting. Mayor Goldberg provided certificates for the Passaic County 4th grade poster winners. There was representation from Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Washington schools who won or received honorable mention. Congratulations to all. Another item which I was extremely interested in and happy to learn about is our Hawthorne Environmental Sustainable Projects, which has been recertified at the silver level. 203 towns are certified, but only 55 are silver level, and Hawthorne is the only town in Passaic County to receive the certification. So I want to congratulate the Hawthorne Environmental Commission for their hard work in achieving this certification. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We do have a referendum update. So last Friday, Mr. Sprito and myself went down to New Jersey School Boards to their office. Got to actually see this New Jersey School Board's office. They hosted a seminar revolving around bond, referendum, and second question information and how to get them passed. It was only a half-day seminar, but very, very informative. Covered the gamut on communicating, how to, what are the trends in communicating with different types of people, students, different age brackets, through social media, things of that nature, flyers, pamphlets, covered all that. Talked a lot about the legal aspects of the referendum and what the do's and don'ts, and a lot of other strategies. We were fortunate to have the superintendent from Ramsey, as well as their board president. They were actually live video conferenced in, and there was like a little debate session, and they were able to give us a lot of insight as to, they had a very successful referendum. They passed a $43 million referendum, I believe. They had, what was it, I believe like 68% of the vote? 65, something in that area. Another guest speaker was a superintendent from 2 separate districts. He became superintendent in Spotswood. In his first year, he was faced with passing a referendum there, which he did. He stayed in that district for a couple of years. Then he moved on to Hamilton School District. He went from so Spotswood, I believe, was like a $24 million budget. Moving into Hamilton, he went up to like a $214 million budget. And he successfully passed that, with the help of the district, passed the referendum there. So he has 2 referendums under his belt, so he was a great speaker, gave us a lot of insight. So we took all that information back, and we had a referendum committee meeting this past Monday. We shared a lot of that information, all of that information, with the referendum committee. We also had Frank from Solutions Architects there to give us a preview of presentation that we're planning on using when we address the public and the PTOs and the various other organizations. So that is in the works. We kind of saw a rough draft at the meeting. We had a lot of conversation about that, about things we want to put in, take out. So he's currently working on that, and we're hopefully going to get a copy of that shortly. The plan would be to get copies of that to the board first before we, make that our focal piece that we're going to, start giving to the community. Our first scheduled engagement, I believe, is April 30th.
April 30th at Washington PTO.
So that's when we would be first technically starting to address the public. And we also discussed, and this was part of the strategy, all of the successful communities that pass referendums all have some sort of a catchphrase, a hashtag, or some sort of a slogan. So the referendum committee put their heads together, and the slogan or the phrase that we're going to use, and this is going to appear on every piece of literature or flyers, posters, whatever we come up with, this is going to appear on everything. So that's going to be bringing our schools and our children into the 21st century. That's going to be the catchphrase that's going to, amongst everything else that we're going to put out there, that will be on every piece of literature. And I think that I covered it all. I think that's pretty much everything. So stand by. As soon as we get the material back from Frank, the committee will quickly review that, and we'll share it with the rest of the board, because we're on that tight timeline. At the end of the month, we're going to start putting our foot on the gas and get going. All right, that's it for referendum. Public be heard. Hold on.
Do I have to stand?
I'll tell you what, you can sit down.
Thank you. What is the since I'm...
Do me a favor though, because we are on camera and live, if you could just state your name and you don't have to.
Bert Alkis, 38 Hillcrest Avenue. What is the referendum for? I'm not aware of it. What are you looking to do with the monies?
Okay. All right, so it is, most of it is facility work, roofs, windows, there's some boilers.
Is it all schools?
All schools. It will impact all of our schools. We're also going to be doing some educational spaces in each building. So some of our media centers, our science labs here and at the high school. We're looking to renovate our culinary room and our STEM lab, new STEM lab at the high school. So it's a combination of, most of it, like I said, the majority of it is facility work. There are some academic spaces that will be impacted as well.
And the dollar amount for the referendum?
That's not 100% solid. We are around the $20 million mark. I don't want to give you an exact number because I don't have an exact number right now. That's what we're waiting on the architect to provide that information for us. But it's approximately 20 million.
Of which, and you know this as a former board member, 40% of it would you would get from the state, so.
Debt services.
Debt services, correct. And we also have expiring debt this year, which is our motivation for moving forward with another referendum. And as you know, a lot of the things that we're looking to replace in the schools are original. There's things that haven't been updated, this is, so that's a lot of the stuff we're focusing on too.
We have a shot for the simple reason I see there's a lot of young couples in town with young children, so it would behoove them to vote for something like that.
100%.
But that's not the reason I came here. I came here, my first question was, and I guess I came at the right time, about the bear cave. I think it's a great thing. I mean, my son goes to it, and it's just been great. It's helped him in many different ways. He's higher functioning, but he's doing a great job. He even has a job after, works at the Hawthorne Diner, so forth and so on. My concern is next year when you have additional students coming in there. Now, I've been there many times, and it's quite small. Now, it's fairly roomy right now with 4 or 5 young people in there. But now you're going to add maybe another 5 or 6 people in there. And I happen to know basically who's going. And I think some of them are a little more severe in their learning disabilities than others. And I think it might be more of a challenge. I don't know if that's going to be enough room in that little house to house another 5 or 6 young people. And it's a concern of mine because, these children, they have their own little things. They need their space, they need their whatever. And I think it may be overwhelming for some of them to be in that small space. It's just my thought. I mean, I've addressed it with Mrs. Forshey, and she told me what her game plan is. I just hope it works because, it's going to be Zach's last year at the cave because he's going to age out next year. And I just want to know, is it set in stone that it's going to stay there? Are you going to try to move it to a larger location, or?
So let me start by saying we, as you heard tonight, we've actually been looking for other locations. When we originally rented that space, when the county reviewed the space, they had to come and approve it and give us, review everything that was there. They told us that we could house up to 16 students. Now, I think that's high.
That's real high.
But so with that said, we've been looking for other spaces. Unfortunately, we haven't found something that really works for us because there are limitations on what we can rent, where we can, we're trying to find a space closer to the center of town.
Right.
So we've looked at quite a few different spaces. 5, 6 at least, if not more. But in conversation with Mrs. Forshey recently, obviously we've been talking about this for a couple of months. She feels very comfortable that with those students who are coming, with the possibility of having 10 students there, that she can make it work, and they wouldn't all necessarily be in the house at the same time. The idea is to adjust the schedules and split them up, correct. So that's the idea, and she feels strongly that she can make it work. I have a lot of confidence in Mrs. Forshey. She's done a fantastic job with that program.
It's a great program, I have to say, 100%.
But it doesn't mean that, because we have to consider also going forward, what's going to happen beyond that. I know Zach's aging out, but that's something we'll continue to look at. We haven't, we'll continue to look for other locations, but right now, our plan is to stay where we are. That's the current plan.
Now, my last question. Now, Zach is a firefighter. He's a volunteer firefighter, believe it or not.
That's great.
My question is, now I've had conversation with Chief Speranza, and volunteerism is down dramatically in all aspects, whether it be raising money, fire department, ambulance corps, whatever the case may be. I had conversation, as I said, with Chief Speranza, and I have a question. Now, we know not everybody's going to go to college and be or whatever, and there's trade schools, and there's PCTI, which is a big pain in the neck, and so forth and so on. My question is, can we offer as an elective, I'd say 10th grade, because you have to be 16 years old to start junior firefighter, can we offer an elective transgender, all genders, because there are female firefighters as well. Something that we can offer to the students, even as an EMT as well. Another avenue of growth if you don't want to go to college or whatever the case may be. I was just thinking about it because I have to say, I've been involved intimately with the fire department because I'm Zach's chauffeur. And I gotta say, they're a great bunch of guys. I mean, it's really, it sets a tone for positive attitudes and so forth and so on. And I was just wondering, maybe it can be offered as an elective to the students of Hawthorne, to, you know, have a fire school in class as an elective. EMT, again, another area that there's hardly anybody going into it. And I was just wondering if it's feasible, is it even possible?
It's something we have to look into. It's not something we have. But with that said, I don't know if you're aware about the new small learning communities. We've actually just revamped a lot of what we're doing at the high school in the sense that we basically took some of our current courses that we're running and we've added some others to create what we're calling small learning communities. And I'll be happy to share it with you. And we've also added some new courses. So this is something we can bring back to Mrs. Trebona and Mr. Cunningham to talk about as we continue to expand these small learning communities. It's possible we could bring something like that in. Obviously, we'd have to have someone to teach it and curriculum and all those things.
Well, I think they're prepared to do that. As a matter of fact, they're even trying.
Well, they couldn't do it for us,
some
though.
talk about opening up their own fire school because you have, in order to become a firefighter, you have to take certain courses and you have to go to the county and take their course. Well, Chief Speranza is trying to put together his own fire course that will make, that you don't have to go to Bergen County or Passaic County Fire School. He's gonna have his own fire school here. I believe they're trying to get it done by next year. But I just think, you know, you wanna be a fireman, start out as a junior firefighter. And then you can go anywhere that you want to become a firefighter. Same thing with an EMT. Unfortunately, as a police officer, it's not as simple. You know, you have to carry a weapon, so forth and so on. But I think there's a lot of students out there that maybe they're intimidated to go outside and go to the firehouse for a class. I think, I'm not 100% sure, if the chief would have one of the firefighters come in and teach a
The
class.
challenge that we have, and I hear what you're saying 100%, the challenge that we would have is certification. You know, if we were to offer it as an elective, they'd have to be certain certifications that they would have to meet.
Right.
Now, if they wanted to run it after school hours as a, you know, as a, something right after school, a club or something, that would be different. But to run it during the day, the person who was teaching it would have to have certifications required.
You'd have to have educational certification,
Yes,
not
that's
teacher
right.
fire certification.
Teacher certification in order to do it. That's the challenge that we would have in terms of running it during the day. But maybe there's another way to do it. Maybe there's, like you said, maybe it's something we run right after school for kids who are interested, or, you know, at the school as opposed to at the firehouse. I mean,
Because I don't even know how many students are even aware that they can go to become a junior firefighter or an EMT or whatever the case may be. I don't know how if it's spoken about in class and school, but I just think it's a great opportunity, and I gotta say, I see all these young men and women out there, and I mean, it's a great thing.
Can I jump in on this? I love this idea and I think it's awesome. My 16-year-old, just turned 17, niece in Ramsey is volunteer with the EMT, but not through the school. You know, she does it on her own.
Right.
And I think what Bert's saying is that, and I agree, that kids don't actually think that this is an option or something that they can do. So maybe like when we do the college fair, you know, you bring in the military, you bring in that, maybe we could bring in the chief of police or the chief of fire just to talk to them about those kind of career options too. Maybe, and then, you know, the whole club and volunteering,
Exactly.
absolutely we can go forward with that, maybe not in school, like you said, but after school. But maybe we should think about bringing them into a career day or, you know, further education kind of thing that we do.
Just food for thought.
So to piggyback on that, you kind of just took all the wind out of my sails. That's okay. Great minds think alike.
There you go.
Almost like an emergency services day. I don't know if we would necessarily do it on the college fair day, but we could possibly do an emergency services day where police, fire, EMS come in and have an information
Well, first responders.
Exactly, and let the kids know what, hey, this is an option, this is what we do, first of all. Maybe you won't even be interested after I tell you what we do, but here's what we do, this is what it takes to, these are the requirements to join this field.
And you can volunteer your time and come learn.
Yeah, just to get the information out as a start,
And if you don't like it, I mean,
with Mr. Springer's
you don't go
permission.
forward with it, but I'm just trying to think of what, because fire and EMT, I mean, we need them desperately here, and there's a lack of.
Rick, do we require the high school students to do community service?
Only as part of certain clubs,
Like
like
national
NHS, because you're correct.
But I think if we
Not every
did, we
student.
could bring in like a community service fair and they could align themselves at this fair with some group like this. Like a matchmaking service. Oh, you want to volunteer? Here's one place you can do that.
And, I mean, I figured I would throw it out that,
No, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for being in the audience tonight.
You'd be home by now then.
Do some sort of.
I have to say though, you guys are doing a great job.
Love to be able to volunteer.
I had no negativity. When I was on the board, all I heard was negativity. I hear no negativity in the streets, so to speak. So I guess you guys are doing a great job, and I think the schools are
Well,
going
you get some of
forward in a
that credit
positive
too.
way.
You helped turn the corner when your time on the board. You
Yes,
helped
you
turn
did.
the corner. So
Well-
you deserve some credit.
Well, thank you. I mean, I wish I could offer more time to Hef, but you know what? There comes a time when your volunteerism gets burnt out and you have to go forward for your own life and your own family. And, if everybody would volunteer for 2 years in this town, we'd have endless volunteers, but that doesn't happen. We all know that 10% to 90% of the work, so
You've put
I
your
thank
time
you
in.
all.
You've put your time in.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bert. I'm on parole.
Anybody else? No one else? Tamer, you got anything? No? All right, moving on. General comments and questions from the board related to school district. Start down by Abby.
No.
Marco? Mikey?
Yeah, just again, want to promote the show that's coming out from the high school, Bye Bye Birdie. I think they're doing it from the 2nd to the 5th, the Thursday to the Sunday.
Correct.
And their productions are unbelievable. They're almost Broadway, like. So it's well worth the money that you actually have to donate to get in there. And believe me, you'll see a nice show. So I'm going to ask everybody to make sure between Thursday and Sunday you can figure out a way to get there. That's it for me.
Bruce?
Yeah, I just have 2 quick things. With the referendum, there isn't an exact number yet, but one of the other items that's in there is to have us be a school district grades 6 through 12, 1-to-1 Chromebooks for every single student.
Thank you, Bruce.
And then the current Chromebooks that we have, and we have not 1-to-1 yet, but a lot of them will kind of get pushed down to grades 4 and 5. So it could be even larger than the 6 through 12. That's a big part of the referendum. The other thing I wanted to point out, I actually watched it at work at my own school and was showing kids. They're like, "Oh my God, the pasta challenge!" And I got an text just from a parent who was like, "Do you know the pasta challenge is like live?" And I watched it, and not only myself but other kids too were like 660 pounds.
Yeah.
We were watching
watching it live, and the teacher going like 100, 200, 300, put the 4 like. The excitement for it, and I thought it was honestly one class, but it went on for every single class that had this, it was geometry, I think, right?
Correct.
The geometry class went and did it, and I was excited just to be at work and watch something live on YouTube from Hawthorne High School. But in light of that too, if you're planning on doing the Shark Tank one, possibly when Mr. Cunningham calls home with the call home and text and all the other, just to make more people aware of it, because I honestly had no idea, and I was in a text group with a parent. They're like, "Do you know anything about the pasta challenge being on?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then I found the link, and I sent it out to them, and it was just cool at work to watch something from our schools live on YouTube, and the excitement of the kids and teachers and everybody that was involved in it. And I think we should continue do as many of those things as we can. And as many different ways to try to, to tell people about it, and in light of like the referendum too, of the conversations that we've had, of maybe even besides sending out something digitally, if we have enough time in advance, even some type of flyer, or put something up, like to tell people, who might not be, they have a phone, but they might not be getting the text or phone call, just to be alert. And it's just something that you might want to watch, even if your son or daughter's not in it. I watched it for a couple, it was very entertaining, because you got caught up in it,
Yes.
the excitement of it. So it was a great event.
Great.
That's it.
Tanya.
I want to piggyback on Bruce because my son was part of that project and he told me about it. And, we are trying to tell everybody how great our schools are and all these wonderful things that we do, and they don't know. If he didn't tell me, I would not have known it was on YouTube. So the fact that it was on there is fantastic. I hope, again, like Bruce said, that we can do more things like that, so that as a working parent, I might just be able to participate in some way, because I can't be there for every event. So, A, I'd love to see more of those things, and B, I'd love to see them advertised so that parents know about it. That's it. That's all. I thought it was awesome.
All right. Great minds think alike. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is the school's ranking in the state? Our school?
Depending what poll.
I was going to say, rankings are so subjective
Well,
because,
the reason I say that is because I know when I was on the board, we were like 151. We were like right in the middle.
Depends on it depends on what poll you look at. I mean, they're all over the place. I can't give you a number. The state doesn't rank us. These individual polls do, but.
The criteria, depending on where you're looking. And who's doing
Each
the
poll
polling.
looks at different
Right.
criteria. And
Right, so, if it was across the
And
board
it changes
universal.
constantly too.
Right.
That's
If it-
another variable.
Correct, if it was a statewide universal ranking, then it would be something that you could hang your hat on, but, if you see all the improvements that we're making here, and then,
Well, that's why I
and
asked.
then you
I
don't
think
move
you
up.
have to be at about 100 or better by this point.
You would think, but.
it just depends. They all.
Because the better the school system, the better your real estate values are. So far,
100%.
we're getting reevaluated. So I just think it's a perfect time to have the school system start to shine. Because this town is starting to go in another direction. And I think we'll have a whole influx of more affluent people that want to come to this town because they have a good school system.
Mr. President, can I jump in on this? Go ahead. Something that I always look at when I hear people, especially when you go to a campaign as a board member, it's one of the things you always hear. You always hear because everybody's worried about that. I take away a few things from this, okay? In all honesty, how many people are second and third generations Hawthornites? They've lived here and they still live here, and that says something about our community. It says something about our school system. All right, so you look at these evaluations that are out there, these rankings, and you wonder where they're getting the numbers from. You try to pull from one. It doesn't make sense. None of that makes sense. Some other things you have to consider. One of the things they do look at is graduation rate and how many students go to post-secondary colleges, four-year colleges. You just mentioned earlier, talking about kids that are always for college, they go to trades. Well, how difficult is it for a Board of Ed where we're looking for what's best interest for the child, but when we're doing that, it may not be college.
You're right.
And now, that's a black eye when you're getting on these rankings and ratings because your kids got into a trade instead of went to a college. So it's really catch-22. And when you start talking about the type of colleges you go to right now, going to four-year university, just talk to some recent graduates that are in college and look at their student debt. Average student debt today is about $130,000. Okay, so you really need to look at this really close. And I, if you ever want to talk about it, I can sit and talk to you over a cup of coffee and it will blow your mind.
Well, I have to say, there's nothing wrong with trades either. I mean,
Absolutely. So,
100%.
My son
but it's a
is plumber,
catch-22 for
and
a
he does very,
district.
very well.
Plumbers and electricians right now, if you were not college material.
There's a lack of trades people out there.
But again, like Mr. Sciarra said, so we provide what we can provide, right? And if a lot of children, students start going into that direction, then we drop in the polls because our graduation, it's a catch-22, like you said.
And you know what they don't measure? Is they don't measure the heart of these kids. They don't measure the peer leaders and the anti-bully clubs. They don't measure the way these teachers are working to boost their confidence and shape these people into great. I would rather be a school that's rated 300 and have decent human beings come out of it than a school rated #1 and have a bunch of little children who don't care about anything but themselves.
Well, look at the town itself. I mean, it's a great town. I mean, crime rate is low. It's a town that
community.
really bands together. It's definitely, it's a.
People step
Well,
up.
you're answering your own question about it, then just think about that. That answers your own question. It really does.
Mr. President?
All right, just one last thing I want to add.
Wait, Mike, you didn't let me come down this end. We stopped.
Oh,
at
we didn't
time
get to
yet.
that. But you were talking.
And then
How much microphone?
then the
No,
ex-board
just
member
kidding.
started talking.
By all means, go ahead.
I just, since we were talking about the videos, Rick, are these available? Are they on the?
They're on the YouTube channel.
Okay, so, and these
We'll
are things that we
advertise the
can.
YouTube channel.
Okay.
We'll advertise the YouTube
All right,
channel.
awesome, that's perfect.
Yes,
And then
everything
one
that's
last,
being streamed or recorded, everything from things like Mr. Hawthorne to the Pasta Bridge to Shark Tank, they'll
Right.
all be there.
Great.
Once they're streamed, they're uploaded to the YouTube channel.
okay, so we can.
So we'll advertise that, yes.
Okay,
I wrote
great.
that down.
And then one last thing, since, again, Mr. Scarra brought up the high school presentation coming up in May, and we're here at Lincoln Middle School. At the high school auditorium this Friday night is Annie. So if anybody wants to come out and spend $7 or $5 for students, come out, it's gonna be a great show. And I'm not saying that because my daughter's Annie. But,
That's awesome.
but again, it is another promotion that, kind of shows the talent of our students and what the district's doing. So again, this Friday night.
And it's a middle school production at the high school?
At the high school, yes.
Okay,
7 p.m.
Thank you.
great, thank you, Andy.
All right, so keeping with the theme, while we're showcasing all our students' talents and accomplishments, last week I had the honor of attending the National Honor Society induction. We had 57 students inducted into National Honor Society. I think that speaks volumes. So congratulations to all those students and the staff and the teachers and the administrators and the parents. All right, that being said, I'm going to move on to new business. Anyone for new business? Anybody for old business? All right, I'm going to move on. Private session. Motion to go into private.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Tara,
Yes.
Mr. Turco, Ms. Goff,
Yep.
Mr. Palouse,
Yes.
Mr. Reicher,
Yes.
Ms. Sanford,
Yes.
Mr. Scarra,
Yes.
Mr. Doyle.
Yes.